Welcome back to the GSTL. I am Wolf. With me is Kaldor. Hyun, so far looking so good.
Defeating Jokchi, defeating Sage, and now up against another Protoss player. He's up against Tassadar.
Tassadar, known for his all-ins. His map of choice is going to be Ohana, in fact.
Definitely a map where you can use a lot of all-ins, a lot of two-base timings, a lot of very, very strong attacks. We've seen crazy games here.
We have, this is a two-player map. It's a little bit bigger than it looks at first glance. So, I mean, we may see Tassadar just play a longer, straight-up game, but I mean, he's being pulled out like this. They lost to Protoss already to this player in the mid-game. I don't think Tassadar is going to go for a fourth base. Even a third base seems unlikely with this guy right now.
Let's see how Hyun is going to approach this. He's one of the TSL Zergs, so usually they start with a very, very defensive position. A lot of queens, late gas. What is he going to do on Ohana? He knows about Tassadar's style. Will he be able to edge out a third win? We'll find out soon. Here's a GSTL. Vanessa Hosa up against TSL.
He didn't click the start button in time. It's fine. Sponsored by Hot 6, of course, is this tournament. Kaldor, introduce our Protoss player.
We have him in the red to the top left of Ohana. It's the second Protoss player for Team NS Hosa. We have...
NS Hosa, Tassadar!
Named himself after a Protoss hero who rose above the Conclave.
I like the keyboard.
I like it too.
Orange, I like it. The bottom left, in the bottom right, the other left, in the blue. We currently have his opponent defeating two NS Hosa players so far. He's up against the third. This is
TSL Hyun!
This guy is suddenly looks like Tassadar. Oh, there he is. And despite being he's one of the only shapeshifters we've ever had in the GSL, but also
come again.
He's a shapeshifter. He can change his appearance. Did you see what he just looked like Tassadar just then?
Okay. I see what he did. I was like, what? What is he referring to? I was like, huh?
Not only is he a shapeshifter in that he can change his appearance, but he can change his styles as well very quickly. And he's going to go pool first here as the probe was spotted. Knows immediately, okay, not going to be able to put my hatch down first. Not even going to go for the third base on this map. It's kind of far away. Got to destroy those rocks before you can defend it easily. It's not as bad as Metropolis, for example, but it is a bit tough. This guy is going nuts today, man.
Yeah, he actually is. That guy that you saw earlier when we were referring to the pizza and to the sign. How many signs does he actually have? But this guy is funny.
He actually, he used to come almost to every single match. And I guess maybe it was last summer, I guess, when he was doing this when I first came here. I haven't seen him in a while. Maybe he's just now getting off school or something, so he's coming back again. But he makes a sign every time. Remember he made the Wolf Alone sign with like the Home Alone logo when I was solo casting the Super Tournament? Thought it was pretty funny. But regular Forge Fast Expand here for Tassadar. Not going to be doing any sort of crazy gateway build or anything like that. But I expect two-base aggression.
Yeah, two-base, all in the two-base attack would be exactly what would be Tassadar's style and what I would do on this map as well, and we see it over and over again. But it's still a map where you can try to take a third. But how is Hyun going to approach this? He played a style in the last game that was a little bit more unique, I want to say. It's something that we've seen in the past, of course. It's not like it's completely new, but it's very rare. And the timing just works out perfectly for Hyun, but this is going to be Ohana, and Ohana is from how the map is set up, of course, very different to Entomb Valley. And it's going to be interesting to watch what exactly Hyun's style is. Tassadar was able to observe the last game, of course, but he didn't get too much information out of it.
You know, drop play is actually really effective on this map as well. I feel like the reason why he used drops last game was because he didn't want to play a long game on Entomb in the first place. He went Hydralist because of potential, heavy Stargate follow-ups, and then he was like, well, if he just switches into Robotic Support Bay, I'm going to hit him before he's ready with the drop. So it was kind of a catch-all build. I don't think drop play is something we will see on this map again, but it's still a possibility. This map for Mutalisk is pretty bad because the 3 bases are straight in a line. You can't really bounce from the bases easily, and there's no real dead space at the north of the bases for the Mutalisk to hide. They can get shot the entire time by cannon stalkers or whatever is in place for them. So I don't think we're going to see heavy mutos. If we see them, we may see them if he gets ahead, because when you get ahead with mutos, you can pretty much do whatever you want. The choice is his, but I think we're going to see probably the most standard game you'll ever see from Hyun with Roach play into Infestors and, of course, eventually Broodlords if the game goes that long.
Hyun is kind of missing his 3rd queen. He finished his 3rd base, and he has the Overlords as well, but he does not have it. He also... Yeah, I'm not quite sure if he forgot about it. He tried to build it probably when the base was done, but then he was supplier blocked, and it looks like he... I would like to know if this is actually intentional, because I can't really think of any reason why you would want to skip the queen at this point. You might not need the lava right now, but later on you will definitely need them, especially when you rely on Zerglings in order to shut down your opponent's play. We have a little bit of an earlier Roach Burn here for Hyun, who wants to be safe. And Tassadar is once again transitioning into obviously into the Stargate play. But this missing queen is really... I don't know. I'm curious about if that was intentional or if he actually missed it.
See, if it were, I feel like he would have at least made it by now, but he has not. Nice micro here on the Stalker and the Zealot. Does end up losing the Zealot, but trying to force some additional lings. The Lair is on the way, and still no queen. This cannot be intentional. There's no advantage to this, and but he has the minerals.
Yeah, there's the queen now. So he's building the queen right now. I think he tried to go for injects and realized, okay, well, there is no queen to inject my 3rd base. Still, I'm going to ask him later. That was actually something that he timed out, but I think it was just a mistake that he thought he had clicked it and he didn't realize he was supply blocked at the time. We'll find out later. For now, what's important to note is that he's getting the 3rd queen, he's getting speed. The lair tech is a little bit faster than he normally would be, and I like it because that offers him a lot of options of dealing with 2 base all-ins and also get aggressive himself.
He skipped the Void Ray with the Stargate play, by the way. He's going straight into Phoenixes. The first Phoenix, Chrono boosted out, came in here for a full and nice scout. I really like this timing because it allows him to see everything that his opponent is up to. Really fast, like a hallucination scout. And it still can do damage. He's going to send it back. He's got a 2nd Phoenix rallied out. 3rd, in fact. So he's going to go up to 4. And he is hiding his 2nd and 3rd Phoenixes right now. He's coming all at once.
We have the Hydra then, and also Spore Crawler, so he's going for a very similar opening. He doesn't get dropped this time, but it would be really funny if he would actually try to do some kind of timing with the Hydralisk once more.
He's gonna target this hatchery and pick up the queen. This is really cool. He may actually just go for drones though. And that's exactly what he's doing. The drone's waiting a long time here, hesitating quite a bit. 7 Roaches on the way. He's going to lose this queen. The Zealot's not doing as much as they could because he's just fleeing, but he's losing mining time. He loses the queen. Robotics is on the way. That's his transition here. Zealots do not have +1, so they will be cleaned up pretty easily by these lings. He's going to get a 2nd queen, however.
The creep spread is not great, though. He's not spreading his creep correctly, and that's why he's losing another queen here.
This is his last queen, too. Then he's going to rely on the Hydralisk only for the Phoenix defense, but with small numbers of Hydralisks, he's only got 3 on the way. If they pop out separate from each other, he can just kill them. Not if he uses all his Phoenix energy to kill Roaches, but I mean, he still has a ton of Phoenixes. He's killing several Roaches here.
He has 5 Phoenixes. That is a lot. He can do a lot of damage here. He has the energy as well. He's baiting out all those, well, all those Hydralisks, of course, as the transition for Tassadar is already on its way. We have the robotics facility nearly completed, and then he will start with a Bay. +1 attack is soon to be done for both of these players. And this is a really... Well, this is a problem to Hyun, who lost 6 Harvesters so far. And it's not only the Harvesters, the different and the more important story is that he actually lost every single queen.
Yeah, no injects available to him. 3 queens about to pop out, but he's lost so many of those important injects. He did pick off 1 Hydralisk with his Phoenixes. He only had the 1 lift to do, so it was kind of lucky for him that he only faced 1 Hydra. He's got I guess he's got about 2 lifts now. His energy has kind of replenished itself just slightly. He's going to kill these rocks. The Phoenixes are coming in. They're going for drones now.
We mentioned earlier that, once again, moving in here.
Gotta be so careful. These Phoenixes are so critical, especially when you're trying to buy time for your robotic support bay. Spire goes down. Yeah,
with the Spire, he will be able to counter out any kind of Colossi play, and he has to know at this point that the transition for Tassadar is going to be the standard one, that he is going for the Colossi, and therefore you need Corruptors. You need something not only against the Phoenixes, but also the Corruptors are going to... the Colossi are going to be a big problem. There's the Overseer having a quick look into the main base and spotting at least a quick look. Yeah, the robotics support bay. So right now with additional Hydralisks, he actually has a lot of them, and that might be a problem later on because Colossi are just so great against Hydras. They are light armored and they only have 80 HP, so definitely a huge problem for him here. Plus 2 attack is being researched. And I have to say that Sage did really a great job with those Phoenixes. He made them work. He did not only kill a few Harvesters and the Queens, but he also pressured quite a bit.
He started a second Spire for a very brief moment and cancelled it. That was really weird. That was like...
Maybe it was just an autopilot.
Yeah, I mean, that's the only thing that makes sense here. This move out is pretty aggressive, but he still has to be careful against this. The problem is the first Colossus is popping out now. In fact, no, that's the second Colossus, so he's going to have 2 Colossi against this? No way. Okay, no, yeah, I looked at the unit counting station like right as it finished. I was like, am I crazy? Oh yeah, he's just got the 1, but just the 1 alone, with range about to finish here, is totally going to shut this down. Look at how close the supplies are. That is really telling of the missed injects. Otherwise, he would have so many more units right now.
If you have same supply at this point in time, that is definitely something that a Zerg player usually does not have to deal with, because especially when you go for Roaches, Roach supply is going up so fast, and then you have a huge supply lead, but this is not the case. He's trying to do a bit of pressuring at the 3rd base, but Tazada will be fine.
He will indeed. Yeah, here we go. He's even getting a first Colossus shot off the range, attacking as he retreats. He's going to pick up some Roaches. They will not go home today. And I mean, his 3rd base is going up essentially for free here. It gets a Hydra as well.
That's the great thing about Phoenixes. Look at how many units he's actually able to pick off here. This is horrible. This is really horrible right now for Hyun. He's losing way too many units to this. And Tazada is already on the move. Now the Corruptors are building exactly when he needs them. He didn't invest the minerals and the gas earlier because he knew he was not going to attack. He was just trying to posture a little bit in the 3rd. Maybe he could try to force his opponent to cancel it if Tazada was out of position. He was not. He saw what was coming, was able to prepare, picked off units. And this is tough for Hyun now.
Yeah, this push, you know, it's the magic number push. The 2 Colossus range attack. He only has +1 for his units. He has a Twilight Council, hasn't started +2 yet. But this push is so scary, and he has to be careful not to overmake Corruptors, because then they become dead weight. And once the Colossi do their damage, that's all that matters, and he's going to back up here. He knows he does not have to fight this battle. He does not have to fight here. He does not need to win this. He doesn't have Blink yet. He needs better upgrades. The Roach upgrades are at +2.
He's in a good position, Tazada that is, but at the same time, if he loses this battle, if Hyun controls his units well, gets
he's going to catch these Hydras.
Then he might lose the game, and here come the Corruptors, take down those Phoenixes immediately, start to focus now on those Colossi with Corruption, uses the ability as well, and look how fast those Colossi actually die.
Yeah, great position on the Corruptors over the trees there, and he took out all the Colossi, yeah, but he still has to deal with these Stalkers. Blink is about to finish. He's going to be able to take out all these Corruptors. He blinks forward, and you know, I feel like he shouldn't even be chasing these Corruptors. He should continue the attack.
I don't think he really can, but the Nexus is about to die!
I think turning around here was a mistake. He lost the Nexus and turn around. This is exactly what Hyun wants. Hyun wants him to turn around, or he basically is like, all right, you either turn around or you lose your Nexus, and he has lost both. He turned around and lost the Nexus. Now his counterattack is going to be a little bit later. Gives him a little bit more time. He's got another Inject finishing up here. 5 more Hydras on the way. His Roach count right now at 28, but the Stalkers, they do have Blink.
Oh, look at this very, very late speed range upgrade for the Hydralisks. He actually forgot it earlier. And right now, we have 2 Immortals. We have all these +1 Stalkers. They are moving in, but Links are going to finish very, very soon. Hyun needs a little bit more time. He is not ready just yet. He can't fight here. He needs a bit more time. He needs to back up for now. Only 1 sentry in the mix. Guardian Shield is up. He's trying to move in.
He lost the Observer, and he pulls back.
Even pulling his drones here.
Yeah, he forced the drones off the line, but still, at this point, his army is getting a little bit bigger, and there's no force fields here, only the Blink Stalker Micro. The Corruptors immediately corrupting those Immortals. They are taking a little bit more damage. The Hydra is really the story here.
Too much for Tazada. Oh wow, especially those Hydralisks. There are no Colossi in the mix. The Hydralisks can do whatever they want. They have an insane DPS, and oh wow. Tassadar early on had a good position, but he extended himself a little bit too much. He decided not to attack because he realized that he was taking too much of a gamble. He wanted to set up this third base. He wanted to go for a longer game. He tries to retreat, but Hyun catches him at a very, very bad spot, takes down those Colossi immediately, and the rest is history. Here we go, he's moving in. He takes out the third once again. Every attempt of Tassadar to expand is being shut down.
I mean, there's not much else to say here. He's going to lose the hatcheries. Every single unit is being corrupted. That means they're going to fall so fast.
He's dancing his units.
Indeed, he should be using the dance command on his Hydras. GG. Hyun now with 3 wins here. He's starting to look out of control. There's only 2 players left for NSOSA.
This is going to get nasty, Wolf.
Yeah,
it's going to get really nasty.
It certainly will, man. I think they may have to pull Scope out here.
And Hyun is like, what up, guys? Win number 3.
Symbol's like, well, I wanted to continue my record. I wanted to approach 100% with my win rate again.
Symbol is annoyed, and he's like, hey, can you please lose the game? I need a couple more wins now.
And Hyun's like, well, I'm not in the round of 8 of Codes, so I want to have my moment here. Maybe when I am round of 8 at Codes, I'll sit on the end like you and I'll make such statements. But right now, no.
Look at him. He's really happy. And I like that he's able to show his A-game today. Earlier on, I said that in the last appearance that he made at the GSTL, he underperformed a little bit. And it's definitely true. And today, we see him playing in the shape that we talked about. He's just improving a lot. As I said, like Moon, he is adapting a lot better to StarCraft 2. He's getting better every single week, and today he's able to show it. He defeated Jagchi, he defeated Sage, and he defeated Tassadar, and now it is time for the NSOSA Zergs.
Oh, yeah, I think it may be time. You know, I think they're going to have to use Sculpt today now. I feel like Sculpt's going to have to come out, but do you use him first? I don't think so. I think you have to use Freaky first. You have to use Freaky next.
Well, the thing is, do you really use Sculpt, or do you use your 2 Zergs that you have? I would at least use a Zerg now, then you still have the option of getting a Terran player. But if you use only 1 Zerg, are you picking Freaky or are you picking Seal?
I would pick Freaky 100%.
Right now, Freaky seems to be really on a roll. On the other hand, Seal is one of the best Zergs that they have in the lineup. It's a really tough choice now. But with 2 good Zerg players on the bench and, well, Hyun already defeating not only a very strong Terran player, but also 2 Protoss. I think it's time for a mirror match.
It's not about also, you know, if you say that Freaky has better ZVZ than Seal, I think that's true. But even if he beats Hyun here, then they could just throw Pult in. And it's like, well, Freaky's not that good against Terran. He lost to Bomber, you know, in Code A. It's like...
yeah, but still, he did. It's not like he played played bad.
Right.
Bomber had problems against Freaky. He had a lot of problems, and you shouldn't forget that we also have with the Bomber a very experienced player who has the ability to calm himself down. Whereas Freaky, on the other hand, he made a couple of appearances in so far, but he has to be nervous sitting in the booth. Yeah. He's very, very young, and he's not as experienced as a player like Bomber is. So
he's getting more and more experience these days.
Exactly.
I think we're going to see Freaky, though. If I had to pick between one of the 2 Zergs, and
against
I'm like,
the Zerg,
in my mind, I'm 100% sure. Like, I would bet on it if I could. We will not see both Zergs. We will only see one.
I definitely agree with you with Freaky now, but I'm not quite sure if we will see Skull. Maybe Seal. Both are really good, but I would send out Freaky now.
Well, we'll find out if it's going to be the case.
But Seal is sitting to the bottom left of the bench. It is not Freaky, and it's not going to be either one of them. It is actually going to be Sculpt.
Yep, Sculpt coming out first.
Bold move, I think.
I would have saved Sculpt for last, but...
yeah, me too.
Maybe they want to save Freaky for... Symbol? I don't know.
I would have used a Zerg player here. I would have tried to get a different matchup in, because, well, Sculpt is not Jagchi, and Jagchi got defeated, and Hyun played very well against Terran. So if you have 1 Terran left and you have 2 Zergs, one of the Zergs first, because then you still have a choice in the last match. You still can choose between 2 players, but now we have a Zerg. You know that the last player is going to be a Zerg. You have no other choice.
Yeah, and I mean, Sculpt is like, in ways, I feel like he's like the unrefined version of Jagchi. They have very similar styles, but in Terran versus Zerg, I mean,
don't get me wrong, he's a good player.
Well, his win rate is decent. He did actually do extremely well when they played against Startail, and he was able to come through for his team.
He's definitely a good player, and he can pull off a win here. I just would have liked to see a Zerg first because of the I don't want to say that, well, the later matches. So that as the team and as Horser, you still have the chance of mixing it up a little bit. Right now, you're kind of forced to use a Zerg in your last game.
Yeah.
Whereas
Right.
with 2 Zerg players on the bench, if you use a Zerg player first and he wins and loses one of the next games, you still have a choice. You still have, okay, I can either go with the Zerg player number 2 if it's better for the matchup, or I can just use Sculpt later on.
Yeah, using Sculpt now kind of relies on the fact that they'll use Symbol if he wins, for example, or eventually they'll use Symbol. But
they can also use Polt. He's a great Terran versus Terran player, so
yeah, so that's something that may not be something they're considering as much here. But I like this choice to use Sculpt now. I knew they were going to use him at one point or another. They're going to use him first here. It's him against Hyun, and it's Hosa with 2 players left. He is one of them. The map is Cloud Kingdom. It's loading up now. So the GSTL with Caldor and Wolf.